So, on my way to the woods out here, man, I got myself a new big ass glass jar. And I'm gonna head down in those sons of bitches and grab some specimens out of there because I'm making a new terrarium. Yeah, I'm gonna go down here and go through the woods a little bit and grab some stuff for it. Get some dirt, get some plants, get some like different little life forms and shit like that. Hopefully I don't run into any teenagers having sex. If I do, I'm probably gonna have to join them. But that's another video. I'm almost in this bitch. You know, a lot of people would think like going out to grab specimens and plants and stuff during the winter is not really a good idea. But actually it's better. Like, you might not find as many like varieties and colorful things or whatever the fuck, but in this time of the year, in this season, what you will find is really resilient plants. You're coming out here in the cold, and obviously these plants can survive like harsh conditions. So when you take and make the transition to the terrarium itself, you're gonna have like a better probability of the plants surviving and whatnot. And I'll go into detail later about like how the plants survive and everything, because it's honestly a beautiful process. I guess that's what really interests me about it. Yeah, I'm just gonna find a nice spot. I'm gonna try to kind of keep my eyes open and just find some nice little plants, some wood, some bark, things like that to put in the terrarium. And then I'm gonna get back home and, you know, put it all together. Should be really pretty. But today it actually feels nice, like the sun's out. I'm a little overdressed, honestly. The gloves and everything. I stole these gloves, actually. I was at the Dollar Tree earlier in the line. I don't know why. I guess because it's Saturday and everybody got paid yesterday. The line was way too fucking big, man. So I was like, yeah, fuck that. These are just gloves. I'm just gonna kind of bonk around the fucking aisles and get out of there. Plus they're fingerless, you know? Well, I mean, I made them fingerless as soon as I got out of there. They just make you feel so badass. First thing I need is dirt, and then I need like little rocks and whatnot to create the false bottom. It'll be like rocks, a little sheet for like a filter or whatever you want to call it, and then dirt. I think I found some decent dirt. Really all I brought was a spoon to dig shit out with, and this container. I definitely hear somebody in these woods. I was walking through and somebody said hello, so luckily I got the spoon. I'm gonna fucking stab the shit out of them if they try to spook me. Anyways, I'm gonna get this dirt. This has good consistency. It looks like a bit of it's kind of like clay, so like it'll enable me to like shape it up more once I get it in the terrarium. That'll be nice. So I can kind of like shape it to how I want it to be. Yeah, I'm gonna need quite a bit of dirt. The terrarium, the glass jar that I got's like kind of big. So I've sat here and been digging like a little bitch for a couple minutes now. I think this thing's like close to halfway full with dirt, so that should be enough. If not, then I'm gonna be upset. Honestly, like really hard to find plants this time of year. But like I said earlier, the ones you do find will be really good because they're still alive in this type of environment. So you know that they'll have like a good chance of, you know, like surviving on their own in the terrarium with the atmosphere inside of it. Thinking of find something good, like this fucking thing, like that would be nice. I want that, but then you kind of move everything around and you see it's all tangled up in the underbrush, and then past that are just these rocks, man. Well, I stopped to smoke a cigarette for a minute. This really has nothing to do with terrariums. The important thing about getting plants for the terrarium is like you don't want to like pull them up out of the ground. What you want to do is kind of like get up underneath of them, sort of. Oh shit, well that kind of fucked up. But anyways, like this shit, get deep underneath it and kind of just take this section of dirt that it's already in and like dig it out. So like shit like that, just kind of dig around it, so that way when you put it in the terrarium, it already has the dirt. You could just stick it right in there. Well, I actually got lucky again. There's a lot of the shit that's still in ground and like not all mattled up and shit. So like something like this, I would love to get if I could get it right. If I could get it right out of there, but it's got to be perfect because you don't want to destroy the roots too much. So just trying to come up under it. There's still a lot of that dirt left on the roots and not disrupt it too much. I'm gonna plop that in there as well. It's wild out here, man. I was coming out of the woods and these two motherfuckers they stopped me and it was like, hey yo, you need some smoke or anything, man? I was like, nah, I got a drug test. I got drug tests and shit at my job, man. I'm good. And he's like, oh, okay. You need like Zans or anything, bro? Don't come to Jeff, yo. You can't even go through the fucking woods without motherfuckers be trying to sell you some shit. It's wild out here. Brief moment of serenity till I drop my fucking phone in the water. Oh, I just came up for real, dude. On my little walk here back, I found these mini glasses, bro. I'm not done grabbing shit either. I meant to come back this way because I wanted to get some moss. Some of that good old moss. And this is some nice green moss. Like really good shit. I only brought that one container too, so like I'm just literally gonna have to just like toss it in my bag. See, look, and here's some more moss. A lot of moss for real. If I can get a good grip on it and grab it up out of there. Fuck. It's not really trying to come up from the bottom, it's trying to rip apart. Aha, there we go. Yeah, baby. Come to me. Ooh, my goodness. Another key thing that I really need is a bunch of little bitty rocks. So I'm just gonna have to throw them all in there to create the false bottom. And I'll get to that when I get home and start piecing all this together. So I just made it back home. We about to start on that terrarium. On a scale of 1 to 10, how homeless do I look? Alright, so here is the bountiful harvest. I got everything. I got all the rocks that I grabbed. I got a little bit of fungi. The fungi is a good touch. It's kind of brittle, but most fungi is an airborne spore. So whenever I put it into the fucking bottle or jar, it might, if we're lucky, if the conditions are right, it should spread around. It might create more fungi in there. And there's the spoon that I brought with me. I also used to smoke crack with. And then here's all the shit that I got in the woods earlier. All the dirt's down in there and all the vegetation. I should probably go ahead and pull that out too. As you can see, I kept the roots all intact mostly, as well as I could. And then yeah, this is the jar that I'll be using. I also have gloves because this is kind of dirty. And then these are for the false bottom. I'll go over that. This first, what you want to do is take a bunch of the rocks and you're going to put them in the bottom here. Let me turn this around. Alright, all the rocks are going to go in the bottom to create the false bottom. They can be big or small. It doesn't really matter too much, but you kind of want them to be even. Like you want them to be kind of level. Like you don't want it to be like too high in one spot and too low in another. You kind of want it to be flat. Also, I guess you don't really want rocks too big so you have more room. Because what I'm going to do is set these on top of the rocks. But I'm going to skip ahead. Alright, so here's how it's going to look. It's not obviously perfectly level because it's fucking rocks, but I'm just going to have it set enough there. Just like a rock bed down in the bottom. Just kind of tall enough to leave some space between the bottom and where you put these. Most people will take like a metal grating kind of thing, like a filter, not a filter, but like a, you know, like the things you put in pipes to like catch resin or whatever. I really can't think. A screen, like a kind of a screen, but I had to be ingenuitive and take some aluminum foil and do this. So I got the aluminum foil down in there. You're doing that so dirt doesn't get too much into the bottom of it. And then I'm just gonna stick this in it, just kind of as an additional filter. Not really a filter, but just to keep like dirt and everything out of there. So kind of something like that. Just enough to like cover it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to keep like dirt and shit out of there, so the water at the bottom stays relatively clean and whatnot. So then from there, you're just gonna add your dirt, like all the dirt that I grabbed earlier, and kind of scape it up to however you know you want it to look and everything. I'm gonna like probably just time lapse this. So I think I'm done here. You can see I got some of the moss in there. I got some of the rocks and whatnot. I got the dirt kind of evened out. Like, this is gonna be the front, and that'll be the back towards the, well, the back there. And I got 3 of the different ferns, little weeds in there. Looks really good, honestly. I'm not like the best landscaper with that shit, but you know. Now really all there is to do is add the water. And you want to kind of be as delicate as you can with the water. But you're gonna want to fill it up to where it's kind of hitting the dirt line. Oh shit, okay. It's starting to seep through now. So we're just gonna let it set for a minute. So cool. Okay. So the water, hold on, as soon as it comes in focus. Focus, bitch. There we go. Well, it had it. The water is setting a little bit above the dirt. I wanted to kind of get it right here, but it's still soaking through and it'll be right here. You kind of want a little bit of the water in the dirt itself. Now, put the lid on, seal it. Now, this is where the magic happens. This is the most beautiful part about it all. The way terrariums work is by creating its own, like, artificial environment. Now, very important, you want to set it in the sunlight. You want to make sure you have it in a place that will definitely get a lot of sun. Because what will happen is the sun will eventually evaporate the water, kind of like it does in the world itself, like in its own natural environment, not in a glass jar. And all the water from the bottom will come to the top. It'll be a little steamy. It'll look steamy at certain parts of the day. And from there, what it does is create these artificial, you won't see them, but it's like clouds itself. And it'll be at the top of the jar, and then the water will fall back down. That way, with terrariums, you never have to put more water in, usually, if it's done right. Because the water will evaporate up, stick to the top, and fall back down like rain. And that is what sustains the plants. And with the plants being sustained, it creates its own oxygen in there too, so you don't have to, that's how you can seal it, you know, you don't have to have an opening or anything. Another really cool thing about this, and it's kind of just by chance, but I've seen people get lucky a lot, is if you wait a while, usually whenever you like take dirt or plants or rocks or just, you know, all the stuff out of the environment, which I actually ended up grabbing way too much stuff for this, but it's better to have more than less and kind of feel, you know, shorted on your stuff you can put in there. But if you wait a while, if you're lucky, sometimes you'll find little life forms in there, little things. I mean, I couldn't really tell you exactly what, it depends on where you live and what you do and what you get, but if you're lucky, there will be little things in there. The hard part is getting those to sustain themselves because they have to have a food source. But so I'm gonna kind of watch for a while, you know, over the next couple of days and pay attention to it and see if I did catch anything. You know, I'll post an update to this like weeks, months later and whatnot, things like that. Hopefully maybe you build a terrarium of yourself too. They're very slow. It's a very slow process, but it's really worth it in my opinion. I'm really interested in these kind of things and I enjoy doing it. Yeah, I'll let y'all motherfuckers know how it's looking after a couple days, weeks, or a month or something like that. Probably just a monthly update or some shit. I have these 2 other little ones. This is kind of proof that this stuff works. I've had these 2 for like over a month, and all the plants inside them are pretty small, but they keep growing. So you can see the water on the top of it is from where it kind of humidifies and hits the top, and then it falls back down onto the plants, kind of creating its own ecosystem. But yeah, now the big one's a part of the collection.